Hello and welcome back to Wildlife Hotel. I'm Eric.
And I'm Geoffrey.
And when we started filming in Japan, we had no idea we'd still be making videos over a year later. Japan changed our lives in a way that we can't even begin to explain, and we are so fortunate to be able to share our adventures with you for this long.
Between Tokyo and Kyoto, we made a stop in Nagoya. That first step off the train was our first step out of Tokyo, and that's when we realized every city, every region, every prefecture in Japan is like its own little world, with its own vibe, its own customs, and its own creations.
We left Nagoya Station, the largest station in Japan. Seriously, it's humongous. To find ourselves in a concrete jungle surrounded by tall, white buildings, it felt almost timeless. Somehow these buildings looked brand new, but at the same time, it looked like they had been here forever. Their towering presence and uniform color felt almost overbearing at times, and it was awesome.
We spent the previous week at Tokyo Disney, and before that we were still in California. Nagoya was our first real taste of what Japan had to offer, and even then, Nagoya alone does not offer a complete understanding of Japan. No one city does. There's no other place in the world like Japan, and if you want to learn more, consider subscribing and ringing that bell so you'll be notified every time we release a new video.
On our first day in Nagoya, we went to Ghibli Park. Just kidding, have you seen those reservations? They go all the way out to forever. Maybe one day. No, instead we went to the Toyota Automobile Museum, and it was awesome. Despite its name, the Toyota Automobile Museum covers all things car throughout the entire history of automobiles. Honda, Nissan, electric cars, everything really. But we've already made that video, so check out our channel to see that one.
We spent our second day in Nagoya visiting Nagoya Castle and exploring the area nearby our hotel.
And Nagoya Castle was incredible. One thing we learned after visiting every castle we could was that each city takes a different approach with the presentation of their respective castle.
Some castles are refurbished to recreate the castle as it was at its peak, and some castles are reimagined into something more like a museum. Nagoya Castle follows the former philosophy of presentation. Stepping inside transports you back in time all the way to the year 1612, the Edo period. Historically known as Kinjo or the Golden Castle, Nagoya Castle still lives up to its nickname. Massive murals with golden backgrounds adorn almost every wall, and heck, some of the walls are just a solid pane of gold paint. Everywhere you look, tatami mats and the color gold. Look up, more gold! And a chicken.
Since Nagoya Castle is just kinda constantly under construction, they only let you see a small portion of it. But even then, the sheer scale of this castle is something to behold. Pictures really don't do it justice. You could fit the entire Tokugawa imperial family in here and then some. You could probably fit the entire castle town in here if you had to, but come on, we all know the Tokugawas didn't have to do that. We'd pay a small fortune just to spend even a single night in one of these rooms, but alas, we could only stay as long as they were open.
Nagoya Castle is open until 4:30 p.m. with entry as late as 4. That still leaves you 30 minutes to walk through the castle, and honestly, if you're only here to see the castle, that's probably enough time to see all the available rooms. Like we said, they only let you see a small portion of it due to its perpetual state of construction, but if you want to see the grounds and the area outside the castle, we recommend giving yourself at least an hour, especially if you're here during cherry blossom season like we were. If you want to see a truly beautiful Nagoya Castle, that's the way to do it. Admission is only 500 yen per person, and even if you're just here to see the castle, that's well worth the cost. But throw in the castle grounds on top of it, and it's basically free. That's only $3 US.
Just a few steps away from the castle is Kinshashi Yokocho, a cute little street lined with shops and restaurants where we bought way too many shrimp crackers and got to try Hitsumabushi for the first time.
Hitsumabushi is grilled eel served over rice with some toppings and a side of dashi, or sometimes green tea, or both. But before you dig in, be sure to observe the signs. Hitsumabushi is meant to be eaten in a very particular order. We were a little intimidated at first, but the restaurant we went to had these helpful little infographics right on the table. There are 3 major steps involved in eating this Japanese dish. First, take a bite. Seriously, grab your bowl of eel and rice and dig in. But don't eat it all. Aim to eat about a third. 3 steps, 3 portions. Easy.
Next, add some toppings. Hitsumabushi toppings typically consist of negi,
A type of onion,
nori,
dried seaweed,
mitsuba,
Japanese parsley,
and or wasabi. Once adorned with your topping of choice, eat your second portion. Again, aim for about a third.
For the 3rd step, pour that dashi and or green tea right in the bowl with the rest of the eel and rice. That's right, now it's soup. Enjoy!
After your 3rd step, there's a chance that you'll have a little leftover eel and rice. Now's your chance to get creative. Recreate one of the previous steps, or combine them, or really whatever you want. That's the beauty of Hitsumabushi. Eventually it becomes your own dish. The world is your oyster. or Hitsumabushi in this case.
The origin of Hitsumabushi are widely debated, but many believe that it was first created in Nagoya, and after having it in Nagoya, we are firm believers of the Nagoya Hitsumabushi origin theory. Change our minds.
While we would have loved to have spent more time in Nagoya, we still had way more Japan to see, and you can join us for those adventures too.
Check out our channel, maybe subscribe, or both. We're still sorting through all of our footage, believe it or not, and we have plenty more Japan coming your way. Until next time, remember, breathe. 3 steps, 3 portions. You can conquer your Hitsumabushi. We believe in you. And
have an adventure.